Hello and welcome as we continue with the last two images in our project folder, the card and the cake image file. They're both opened up in Photoshop, and this lesson is going to focus on using the Elliptical Marquee Tool to create a round selection along with the refine edge to feather the selection. I want a selection of the cake, but I want it to be a round oval selection. So I'm going to take my elliptical marquee tool. You can press the letter M or Shift M to switch to the elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to make my selection from the upper left to lower right. Okay, if the selection isn't just right, with the same selection tool you can move it. You can use your arrow keys to nudge it, or you can even right click and transform the selection. If you choose transform selection, you're not altering the image, you're just altering the shape of the selection. Okay, so perhaps I want it just like that. It's okay if the corner of the cake gets a little bit cut off, that's fine. So I'm going to take that selection, press enter to accept the new selection. Now, if I wanted to bring this onto the card image, I could do a simple drag and drop. But watch what happens if I take my move tool, drag it and drop it. You notice how sharp the edges are? That's not what I want. I want a more feathered, soft selection. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my selection tool, and you'll notice up here in your options bar there's a button called Refine Edge. And when I click it, take a look at what we can do. First of all, your view mode. You can view this a couple of different ways. So you can either view it with the marching ants, you can view it as a red overlay, you can view it on black, on white, black and white, on the layers that you're working with, or reveal layer. In this case, really don't see much of a difference. I'm going to choose on black for this one. That way you can really see what the selection is going to look like. I'm going to click away to close that. And I want this to be a feathered, soft edge selection. Come down here to my adjust edge. There's my feather slider, and as I move it to the right, you can see how the selection gets much softer. Contrast will do the opposite. It makes your edges much sharper. We don't want the contrast. Shift edge will bring your selection closer or more farther away. So I'm going to bring it maybe in just a little bit. So now this is showing you what your selection is going to look like. If I press OK, it may look like nothing has changed, but now watch when I take my move tool. Drag it, drop it. Now look at that. Much softer. Coming over here to my layers, I'm going to make my layers larger, large thumbnails. This is now the card. This is the cake. And the cake, I'm going to take this layer and transform it so it fits within this spot right there. So Command T. I'm going to hold Shift to keep it from getting squished or squashed. But because I'm shrinking it inwards, I can hold Shift and Alt, and that shrinks it inward. Okay. So I want it to fit right there within the middle of the card, and then press return to set it. You now know how to feather a selection by using the Refine Edge tool. This works with any selection tool. If I even switch to my lasso, I still get a Refine Edge. The rectangular marquee, I still get a Refine Edge. So Refine Edge works to refine the edges of your selection once you've made a selection with any selection tool. So until then, peace out.